Well, in the world of Iboga, an adverse event is not somebody suffering through a bad trip, quote unquote. An adverse event with Iboga is cardiac arrest. So, it's kind of different, a different ballpark. Like psilocybin mushrooms is technically the safest drug you could give somebody. Ibogaine is not. It is definitely potentially dangerous. There's a potential for cardiotoxicity. So we do a lot of screening before we give the medicine to anyone. We'll do a couple EKGs at least prior to giving them medicine. We will have them hooked up to a heart monitor the whole time we're giving them medicine. We do blood work prior to giving them medicine. We give IVs prior to giving Ibogaine. So there's so much that we do to avoid that kind of adverse event. So now what you were referring to, kind of the psychological taxation that psychedelics can call upon someone sometimes is, yeah, I really don't look at it as, I definitely wouldn't frame it as a bad trip. Challenging experiences are very commonplace on Ibogaine. It's, we work with 5-MeO-DMT as well, which is often referred to as the bliss molecule. Nobody's ever called Ibogaine the bliss molecule. It's generally a fairly taxing journey. Some people do kind of enjoy it and do have blissful, peaceful experiences, but that definitely isn't the norm. When you do Ibogaine, you should be well informed that the chances of it being challenging are very high. So we do a lot to prepare people. One of the metaphors I use for Ibogaine is Ibogaine's like a roller coaster. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, there's going to be loops, there's going to be possible water features with some purging into a bucket. There is a possible tunnel of terror or two. None of that matters. The only rule of roller coasters is just don't try and get off in the middle of the ride. And that's really where I see suffering happen with Ibogaine, is when somebody's trying to stop the ride prior to it wanting to stop. And that's generally about 24 hours, if not 36 hours after the administration of the medicine. You'll get a fairly decent night's sleep, and then you start recognizing the benefits of why you went through Ibogaine. We work with people. If I inform everybody before we start that if you are really facing something challenging, maybe you're in some kind of a negative feedback loop and you need help out, just raise your hand and we'll step over and we'll do our best to coach you through it. I've got 5 guys I gave medicine to last night. I'm giving another 4 guys medicine tonight, but the 5 guys we gave medicine to last night, they had various degrees of, I just checked in on them before we started this, and one guy said his journey was pretty peaceful. One guy said it was very intense for a little while and then kind of eased up. One guy said it was the hardest thing he's ever done and he didn't expect it to be that hard at all, but he feels pretty good right now. Another guy was up walking around and already really working with our on-site therapist to try and integrate the experience. So, but I don't think any of those guys, especially after today, which is known kind of as the gray day on Ibogaine, you are physically exhausted, but you can't really sleep until the Ibogaine's ready to let go. Nobody's going to go home and say, yeah, it was a walk in the park. They're all going to recognize that it was challenging, but they're also all going to see benefit out the other end, which was the reason they came down here to do it.